In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge the Gadigal and Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which we record this podcast. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and future, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening today. Do you have a chronic health condition and/or a disability? Or do you support someone living with a chronic health condition or disability? Hi, I'm Joel.
And I'm Lani, and we're Imperfectly Human. Welcome to Chronic Conundrums, a podcast from the Sydney Children's Hospitals Network, all about our chronically chaotic lives. In our journeys with a chronic condition, we must become expert navigators of the extraordinary, because every day presents a new challenge.
We're here to tell you what to gain from those aches and pains, because we're more than just patients, surgeries, and prescriptions. We're people too.
The next chapter in your journey with a chronic health condition is reintegration, finding your feet in a new kind of normal. It may entail crossing raging rivers and climbing steep mountains to reinvent your schooling and social life.
Do you remember the first day back at school after your diagnosis?
I do. I remember my teachers being very concerned.
Right.
I don't think they had dealt with something like this before, so they really covered all the bases.
I see, okay then.
They made me form a group of 10 people. Within like a day. I had to decide who's going to be a part of this support group. And then they brought me into a boardroom with all of my friends and taught me about my condition. Yeah, so that was really interesting.
Yeah.
I found it sort of funny in a way where it's like, wow, you're taking it more seriously than me.
Yeah, right?
Like, I'm the one living it, and babe, it's gonna be like, you can calm down. But they came from a really good place, and it really helped me feel supported in terms of like, if something does go wrong, because of how unpredictable my condition can be as well.
Yeah.
I just remember it being really, it was like 0 to 100. And part of me, I felt like I just wanted to go back to normal.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just like, well, I just came from being diagnosed. I would kind of like to feel like things are back to normal. I'm out of hospital. I'm back with my friends. Let's just take a minute. But I was sort of pushed into this, okay, let's deal with this issue now. It was a lot, but I knew it was necessary.
I had this year off school, basically.
Yeah.
In person, at least. Immediately when I came back to school, they basically said, okay, before you come back, I had a week where I was home but not at school. And they said, okay, you need to map out your days for the next month because you can't be here all day, every day. You need to do half days for at least a few weeks. So I came back and I would leave. For the first week, I left at recess every day. Yeah. Even though I was feeling fine, I had to leave at recess. And then the next week, I was like, okay, we'll push it back to lunchtime. I'll leave at lunch, right? And then I do a little bit more of each day. Yeah. And like, it made sense why they had to do it. Yeah. But I just have this memory of being so frustrated where it's like, at first memory, like mapping out the days, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be feeling in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. Like, I don't know what the difference is going to be. Yeah. Like, as if I can't just do it at the beginning of each week. Yeah. Where I know how
you're feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have some insights from some of you.
I think we kind of focus, in a sense, too much about the bigger stuff that's serious, like tubes and wires and wheelchairs and mobility aids, that we forget about the hidden disabilities and the hidden educational flaws in the sense where it says it's great that my university has elevators that disabled students can use. What about the typeface that we use in emails? Can that be made more accessible for individuals with dyscalculia and dyslexia?
I think that it's easy when you're in remission because you, like with school's very accommodating with adjustments with assessments and HSC and class time and things like that. Even when I was at school, I wasn't really there in the mindset because my body was sick, so I didn't feel like doing schoolwork, or I didn't feel like hanging out with my friends. You don't have any energy to do anything. So it can be hard for schools to accommodate to that because they don't really, a lot of the time it's hard to know what's going on. But my school was generally pretty good at making sure that I'm keeping up with my schoolwork and I have access to facilities like learning support and things like that.
I can't travel that far. I need to be closer to home. Even just living standards as well, like wanting to move out. For my consciousness and my mentality, I can't go an hour away from the city either way. Thankfully, all my bosses that I have had have been really understanding with the circumstances and the situations, except for a few, but majority have. Given me the time off that I need, the recovery that I need. They know where people might have like a certain amount of sick days to take, they're happy for me to take as many as I need to.
As teenagers, we must traverse through domains of decision-making and relationships. With a chronic condition, relational uncertainty and illness and disability severity are thrown into the mix. Adolescence is already complicated, but symptoms can squeeze their way in to become the elephant in the room. Reintegration and returning to school are critical challenges to conquer with a chronic condition. You must balance the conflict between chronic illness management and education or work requirements, even social expectations.
Successful adjustment is contingent upon a whole school, whole community, whole child model. The calculated coordination between the patient, healthcare team, and school body. Aided by clinicians' knowledge of your health needs, schools compose an individualized learning plan.
The ideal outcome is an effective, considered response that reflects the complexities of your conditions. However, sometimes a lack of communication prevents schools from meeting your health needs.
Recurrent illness and the toll of treatment can affect your chronic absenteeism and even academic risk. The situation calls for self-advocacy, being transparent to assert what you need to succeed. For more complex cases, you can seek further support from the Department of Education.
Joel, what did yourself, your school, and your healthcare team do to meet your health and educational needs?
Well, while I was in hospital, my healthcare team actually really prioritized me getting to the hospital school.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like when I wasn't at school, basically.
Yeah.
So they really pushed me to at least have some sort of academics while I wasn't able to attend school, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which did end up being really helpful because further down the track, I ended up getting a bit more motivated. There was no possible way that I would successfully get reintegrated into the school system academically, especially with something like maths.
Yeah.
Where, I just pick up where everyone else is.
Yeah.
Because I was literally a year behind in education compared to everyone else. And so it felt like this constant struggle to not only do the work, but do more than everyone else just to get onto the same level.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you felt that your education is being impacted by intermittent treatments or anything.
Well, mine was kind of similar, but in a very small scale. And it hit me pretty hard as well.
Yeah,
the same thing with maths. There would be days where I physically can't get to school. It's just not good. I have to take the day off. And those would turn into multiple days off or a couple weeks off. And now I've got an exam coming up, and I have the work that they did do available, but if I'm bedridden for 2 weeks, it's kind of difficult for me to stay on top of it. When you're sick, you need to take the time to care for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's just the thing with chronic illnesses is that you just have those days where you can't do it. Lani, I must admit, it must be tempting to forego treatment and forget your limitations to go and do things with friends. Have you ever sort of neglected your health to an extent and told yourself, oh, I'll be fine, when really it is sort of diminishing yourself in a way?
Yeah. When I was in year 9, I couldn't do PE.
Oh.
So I couldn't do prac
Yeah.
because it's just with my bloods. It was just like pretty dangerous for me.
Sure.
And I hated doing prac. it was like my least favorite thing in the world. But as soon as they told me I couldn't do it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out. Look at them play dodgeball, getting hit by balls.
Yeah.
I want to do that. As soon as it felt like my condition was limiting me, I was like, no, I'm going to push it.
Which I think is such a common experience that people
Yeah.
who have some sort of restrictions put on them
Yeah.
just feel like they need the control over themselves. And so clearly the best way to do that is to just break down all of the limitations.
Yeah. And even though I knew it was bad for me or like not ideal, it just felt like mentally it's what I had to do as a teenager, especially
right.
being like, no, this is my time. But that's very unsafe. Do not do that. Just a disclaimer.
Yeah, that's the disclaimer. According to a social psychologist, Elkind, we as teenagers are acutely aware of an imaginary audience, all eyes on us. As Lovinger, a developmental psychologist, suggests, we are all trying to conform, to fit in and belong. But with a chronic condition, sometimes we can't help but stand out from the crowd. Your experiences of illness and disability are like a paintbrush. They can colour your social world a little bit differently from the rest.
To get a taste of the tenuous tug of war between socialization and survival, here are some of your insights in sound bites.
In general, my peers as well have been very supportive at school. They just check up on me every now and again, and they make sure that I have everything I need, and they're always asking, oh, do you need us to do anything? Do you need us to get someone for you? Do you need any help?
It's just, the deep friendships that you make, and then from that, you know that they're not going to walk away. They're going to be beside you when you need them. When I was really sick before my transplant, they would come visit me very, very frequently. My family as well. When I was in there for Christmas in 2019, my mum would bring in the suitcase with the ham and the prawns and the salad. When I had to do physio and walk around the ward, they would walk with me and actually hold my oxygen tank. And I feel like that level of support and friendship is very hard to find these days.
Lani, did you ever feel your friendships changed as a result of your chronic illness? Were they tested?
My friendships changed a lot.
Oh.
I think because, as I mentioned before, I was sort of rushed into creating the support group.
Right.
And I'm in year 9. These friendship groups are not necessarily as stable as you can get.
No.
So being so rushed, I think these people who at the time were close to me were put on this like pressure to take care of.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like if I were to do it again, I think I should have taken the time to understand how important it is to have a long-lasting support group.
Yeah, sure.
Because now that I think of it, I don't know if anyone from those support groups I'm still friends with today.
Yeah.
So I'm forever like re-explaining my condition. People that are in my life right now are witnessing how my condition is for the first time, which is so weird for me. And I sort of wish I had these friendships that have like felt familiar from the start of my condition as well. I think part of me went to my friends as a sort of escape from all this uncertainty. So I wanted to feel a bit of normalcy rather than let's bring your chronic condition into every single aspect and let's only talk about it. Like, that's not necessarily ideal for me.
No, not really what you want.
Yeah.
Either. Yeah, I remember having this sort of internal conflict about, who do I tell about my condition? And like, who can I trust? And is there anything that should be trusted more than anything else?
Yeah.
Like, is there bits of sensitive information that I only want some people to know? And I remember coming back and sitting down with like the deputy principal and was like, okay, we'll get you into classes with people that you know and you'll like be comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I just remember going back to school and expecting basically everything to be the same as where I left off. And then having this culture shock when I realized that from the time I left and the time I came back, so many things and friendships and dynamics between people had completely changed.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how to navigate it.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting all the friendships would of course be the same as they were a year ago. And, you know, these people are still going to be friends and this is still going to be my friend group.
Yeah.
But the friend group that I had basically spontaneously combusted in the time I was away. Not very dramatically.
Yeah.
You know,
enough to be like a big change.
but yeah, enough for me to go back and be utterly confused by everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if there were people I was meant to be not friends with or am I meant to like stick with you as a 14-year-old having no clue how to basically make friends with people for a second time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know you anymore, but it's not like I know anyone else any better.
Yeah.
So I'll just try to get to know you a second time.
Yeah.
And hopefully that sort of works out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because all the friend groups had shifted and changed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that other people don't even realize that they changed.
Yeah.
But I do, because I was just taken out and then put back in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I see the complete shift, right? The failure of slotting back in.
When you do want to have an honest health discussion with friends, practice validating communication. Reciprocal validation means acknowledging the relevance and meaning of a person's experiences, showing empathy and building trust. Joel, what else is needed for a productive discussion with your friends on your chronic health condition? And how do you establish your desires or your needs to do with like yourself and how to handle your condition?
In order for it to be productive, I just need to approach the conversation from a more like educational standpoint, I think. When you're talking about facts, either they understand it or they don't understand it. And when they don't understand it, they'll ask for clarification.
Yeah.
So when they actually legitimately understand the condition, then you can talk about those boundaries and your needs, those sorts of things, because they've already opened themselves up to the condition.
Yeah.
And then once they're open to that, then they open themselves up to you
Yeah.
because you're the person with the condition.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a really efficient and effective way of having those sorts of discussions with people.
Yeah.
In terms of setting boundaries, I think just being polite goes so far.
Yeah.
And because oftentimes, you know, you're a person, if you hear someone talking to you about, you know, can you stop doing this?
Yeah.
You're going to be defensive
Yeah.
and you're going to subconsciously kind of despise them in a weird sort of way.
Yeah.
Coming from the perspective of, oh, what would be really good for in your way to support me would be to do this. Not, oh, what would be really good for me was, you know? So you kind of make it about them.
Yeah.
And then they feel more involved and more inclined to support you and listen to your needs and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like personally, what's worked for me, because it's so dynamic, my condition, is since it's so recent as well, being only 2019, I sort of go chronologically because then it shows, oh, this is how bad it can get. And then I say, yeah, but I'm good now. This is what stable looks like. And from there, it can sort of be a discussion of like, oh, when it does get to that point, how can I help? That sort of thing. But yeah, that's what I found works well for me. If I just name drop lupus, they're going to search it up and they're going to get these like million websites,
Right, of
all these
course,
people
yeah.
that have it, and they all have like different experiences.
Yeah.
So I like to come from a standpoint where it's like, this is what happened to me, and this is how my lupus affects me, and this is how I'm best supported in this way.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really smart way of doing it as well, because it makes logical sense to the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
They can build a time map in their mind, and they see, I don't know, it's almost like a sign graph where you see like the peak and the the
exactly.
trough.
Yeah.
And it feels like that makes logical sense for people.
Yeah.
And so because it makes sense in people's brains, it's what helps you in turn.
Yeah.
Avoid blaming, shaming, and complaining. Instead, acknowledge each other's diverse experiences, give emotional support, and express your expectations through the highs and lows of the journey with a chronic health condition.
That's all today on piecing together puzzling schooling and relationships with a chronic health condition. This chronic conundrum can be overwhelming, but with the right support, you can overcome it.
Next episode, we'll venture deep into the throes of treatment, coming to terms with your chronic health as a constant state of flux.
But for now, this is Lani and Joel signing off, and I promise you we will still be chronically ill the next time you hear from us. While we strive to support you on your journeys with a chronic condition, this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional mental health advice. If you find any topics potentially triggering, please seek help from a local mental health professional or contact Kids Helpline on 1-800-55-1800 for 24-hour advice.